You're watching B-Boy 45. Of course, this is a special edition of the latest news to keep you in the groove with Maya. Maya, who's on the Skype with us?
Randy and Jason Sklar.
Oh my gosh, we got the Sklar brothers.
Hey.
How are you guys
We're huge
doing?
Maya fans.
No way, me too.
Oh, good.
Oh, excellent. Okay, Maya.
We follow Maya, and not just on the street. We follow her on Twitter.
That's good. Thanks for not following her. That'd be creepy.
That would be weird.
Maya, should we tell everybody what our tradition is now every time we come to Denver?
Sure.
You tell
You
them.
tell them.
Okay. Every time they're in Denver, we go and meet them at Sweet Action Ice Cream.
Yeah.
So good, right?
And we get to hang out and catch up and get to hang with your mom and your sister, who we love too. And it's just so fun. It's like it's now part of our, like, we do press, we do shows, we see you guys. It's all part of it.
Man, she's kind of the big deal, just so you
She
know.
is
my
a
God.
big deal.
I can't believe she can
Highlight
fit you
of
in
our
her
trip.
schedule, but, it's good. It's good. All right, Maya, take it away, girl. The
Okay.
people, the children want to hear from the Sklar brothers. Let's bring it on.
Okay. So who's your favorite actor or actress?
Wow.
that
That's
is
a great
such a good
question.
question.
Jay, I'll let you go first.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I think as an actress, someone who I love, and I just loved her in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, is Kate Winslet. Because Kate Winslet, she was in Titanic. She's been in so many wonderful things. She's so great in everything she does, but she can play in small movies or gigantic, huge movies, and she always gives a beautiful performance. That's what I would say is Kate Winslet's my
How about actor?
actor. Wow.
So hard.
That is so hard. Maybe I'll say Liev Schreiber, who is a great actor, and my son's name is also Liev. He wasn't named after Liev Schreiber, but my son's 10th birthday is today. So I'm going to
happy
say
birthday!
Liev Schreiber.
Thank you. All right. So you want to hear mine, Maya?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just watched with my kids over Thanksgiving. We watched Best in Show because my kids, every Thanksgiving Day, we watch the Macy's Day Parade
And the Westminster
and then the
Dog
Westminster Dog Show right afterwards. And since we have an English Bulldog, we always root for the non-sporting group, like the English Bulldogs. So I thought, okay, I think we can watch Best in Show, which was the Christopher Guest improvised movie. Parker Posey is I love her as an actress. She is so good in everything she does, and it reminded me how much I loved her. So I'm going to say Parker Posey for a female actress. And then for an actor, I gotta say, I know he yelled at someone on a set, which I don't love, but Christian Bale. He's Dick Cheney in the new movie Vice. He's so good. He was great in
When he was like a boxer, when he was the brother of Mark Wahlberg as the boxer. What was that movie?
I forget what that movie, but he's just so good. He can make himself into anything, and he's just such
He was Batman.
He was Batman.
He was Batman. I think he was the only Batman I actually ever saw.
Oh, really?
Well, he was a good
He's
one.
a good one.
Okay.
Good Bruce Wayne.
Who's your favorite, Maya? And please say the Sklar brothers.
Okay, the Sklar brothers.
Yes, for man and woman. Just kidding. Who's your
Who do you
for real?
love?
Who's your favorite actress and who's your favorite actor? That's a hard question.
Yeah. I love Reese Witherspoon.
Yes.
And I love James Roday.
Oh, nice.
Great.
Good choices.
Good
Can't go
choices.
wrong there.
Solid.
That's good.
So what would be your dream show to guest star on?
Ooh, that's such a good one. What do you think?
First of all, we've had some. I'll tell you the dream show that we would love to guest star on. I'm going to put it out in the universe on your show. I love The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which is on Amazon, and it is such a good show. It's about comedy. It's like Jewish and comedy in New York in the 50s, and I would love to be a comedy team or a duo of managers or people that would be from the 50s on that show. To me, would be perfect.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't even know if I can come up with one better.
Come
than
up with
that.
one better than that? Come on, you can come up with something.
Let me think. What would be a great? I mean, I do love, in the same vein, I love Crashing on HBO with Pete Holmes, and I think
fun
that
to
would
do
be
that.
fun to do that one as well.
Cool. So is there someone you hope to work with in the future?
Who would you hope to work with in the future?
Well, you've already worked with Maya, so you can
We've
cross
already
that
worked
one
with
off the
Maya,
list.
So it only goes down from there.
You know
Right.
who I love, who we love, and we know a little bit, and have worked with him in the past, but I would love to actually work with him on a show. Would be Will Ferrell. He's so funny.
So funny.
I can't wait for that movie. Holmes. What is it?
Holmes and Watson.
Yeah. The Sherlock Holmes and
Yeah.
Watson.
And
Yeah.
Watson, Holmes and Watson. I mean, yeah, he's so talented and funny. I would say Will Ferrell.
Yeah. Sacha Baron Cohen, we did a little thing with him. I would love to work with him. Would be amazing.
Oh, cool. So what's your favorite show of all time?
Wow.
Oh, that's such a good question and a tough one. I mean, I was recently talking about Arrested Development and just how funny that show is
Yeah.
on every level and how many careers it launched. I mean, you think about all the people who were in that. Michael Cera and, you know, how great Will Arnett was in that and David Cross and Jason Bateman, like totally researched his entire career. I think I would say Arrested Development. The writing, the acting, all of it.
I'm a Seinfeld guy. I love Seinfeld. It kind of was in our sweet spot. We were in New York in the 90s when that show was kind of at its height, and it felt like they were speaking to us. And I just love that show so much.
Cool. Is there a show you're currently binge watching?
What are you binge watching?
Let me see. What's the last thing? I mean, I was binge watching. Barry. Barry on HBO. I'm binge watching that and loving it. Henry Winkler is incredible. Bill Hader is unbelievable. It's such a great show because it's about acting. I mean, there's an acting class at the center of it, and this guy is trying to act like a normal person, even though he's like a hired killer, and
It's like his best acting is done just
by being in this world and not revealing who he is. I love it. I think it is so smart and compelling and funny. That's the one I'm binge watching.
Yeah.
I just binge watched Making a Murderer on on Netflix, which is just fascinating, like true
Documentary,
crime
yeah.
documentary.
Yeah, good show for young adults and teens.
Yeah,
Correct.
Not that. I would say
Only young adults?
What did I just watch?
You know what I've been binge watching that is for teens and young adults that they can watch with my son? The Simpsons.
Oh yeah.
The Simpsons is and always will be. I might have to go back and say that might be my favorite TV show of all time. Because I missed, I watched a lot in the first 8 years, but then I missed the last 21 years. And so to sit down with my son, who's almost 10, probably around the age of some of the kids who are watching, listening to this, we laugh so hard watching that show. He laughs at stuff. I laugh at stuff that sometimes he gets and sometimes he doesn't get. But we are losing our minds laughing at that show so hard. So I'm going to say binge watch The Simpsons.
Pretty darn good. I'm trying to think what else have I binge watched recently that my daughter's been watching Riverdale.
Uh-huh.
She loves that.
One of Maya's favorites.
And she binge watched The Office, which is also just a great, phenomenal one to watch.
Cool. Yeah, I love Barry.
Barry, you love Barry?
It's pretty amazing, right?
How good is Henry Winkler?
Yeah.
So good.
As the teacher.
Yeah.
He's a great character because he believes and he's a good guy, but he's also, it's so funny when they all put their hands in the middle before a performance and bring their hands out, the thing that they say. Instead of go team, they go Cousineau. They say his name as the acting teacher, and he makes them applaud and stand up every time he walks into the room. I love that.
Yeah.
We've known people like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there someone you've met that you've been completely starstruck by?
Ooh, who have we met that we were totally starstruck?
We met Mary J. Blige when we were doing Entourage. And there was a moment where I was like, oh my God, this woman she's a music star. She's a diva. She's a legend. And then I had a couple scenes with so at the beginning, I didn't even want to talk to her. I just didn't want to bother her in any way, shape, or form. But then we had some scenes. You want to hear a funny story about it?
Yeah.
Okay. So on Entourage, my character's name was Jim and yours was Jeff. Jason's was Jeff. And Mary was just playing herself. So over the course of the week, we got to know her, and she was so nice. At the beginning, I was starstruck. At the end, she was so nice.
So remember, I'm Jeff, and Randy is Jim.
So after we shot for the week, Jason went up to Mary.
And I said, look, I'm an enormous fan. I was trying not to geek out through the whole week, but I just want to say thank you. And it was sort of great pleasure to work with you. And she looked at me and she was like, thanks, Jim. And I was like, it's Jeff. I couldn't even tell her, like, she didn't realize that, like, I wasn't my character's name, even though she was her character's name. It was a very awesome.
So she called Jason Jim, which was my character's name, and Jason corrected her by saying, it's Jeff.
I literally couldn't be like, it's Jeff, but I'm actually Jason, and here are who we are. It was so awkward.
Because
and
at some
awesome.
point, she's Mary J. Blige. You got to just let her.
You can't correct.
Just go
Mary
with
J.
it.
Blige.
Yeah. We're so glad you called in today, Jeff.
It's Jim.
It's Jim.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, Jeff and Jim.
Yeah.
Jeff and Jim, please get it right. Get it right.
So, what song do you roll down the windows and rock out to?
Chance the Rapper, No Problem. I love that song so much, and I just crank it up and just let it fly.
What have I been jamming lately? If you can find a clean version, there's a couple of swear words in this one, but what's the Lizzo song?
No.
Baby, how you feeling? Good as Hell. Good as Hell by Lizzo. There's a couple swear words in there.
Just a couple.
I'm so proud of
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Really jam it when my kids are in the car, but it's really, really, really like
It's good.
roll down the windows and let it rip.
It's really good. Just from the title, we can tell. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Cody. We hear you. We don't see you, but we hear you, feel you.
So, if you could have any song playing to announce your entrance into a room, what song would it be?
That's so good. Because we do that sometimes when we do stand-up. We have songs.
They say, what song do you want us to bring you up on stage to? What's the song?
I don't know. I usually do Chance the Rapper.
Chance the Rapper. No
problem.
No problem.
That is such a great song to come up to.
That's good. There's a new song by a group out of New Zealand called the Beths, Beths, called Future Me Hates Me. And that's a rocking song that I would
totally go up to.
And then there's probably a couple songs from Stuck Between Stations. The Hold Steady.
Yeah.
The Hold Steady that we would come
Great
on
band
stage to.
out of Minneapolis.
Like, yeah, Sapphire. That's a great song by them. And that's a good one.
Cool. So, do you have a motto or quotation that you live by?
Yes, because so much of our business is waiting around for other people to make a decision on whether or not they want to do your work or whatnot, and you're just kind of stuck there. We always say, create, don't wait. Create something, don't wait. If you wait, you're going to get stuck. I mean, if you're trying to support a family, you are in deep trouble. But
when you wait, you also put all of the power in someone else's hands. And so it's so much better to just start making things.
Create, don't wait.
Yeah, me too.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
Well, you are.
Yeah.
I mean, you get
Look
it
at what
because
you're doing.
creating a show that people are listening to, and you weren't waiting around for someone to say, "Hey, you wanted to go do something." You're like, "No,
No one was going to
it.
hand it to you. You
Gotta go make
You
it."
took it, and that's what's awesome.
Thank you.
I think she's over 60 celebrity interviews.
Yes,
That's incredible.
Isn't that
They're
amazing?
lucky to be on this show.
That is awesome.
Thank you. So, what is your biggest pet peeve?
Biggest
Ooh,
pet peeve.
I have so many pet peeves.
Here's a tiny thing, and it bothers me so much. And you tell me if your mom or your sister feel this way too, or Cody, you can jump in here too. When I'm a fast driver because I'm usually late to everything, but I always, especially if there's a big long line of cars, I always let the person in who's trying to get in because I know how difficult that is. I've been that person who's like trying to get in and there's a long line of cars and no one's going to let him in. So I always let someone in. If someone doesn't wave to me that, hey, thank you for doing that, I get that is like, you can't do that to me. Then I'm like, I want to run them off the road.
Right. You were totally happy, and then they didn't wave, and then, whoa, totally flipped the other way.
You gotta wave.
Gotta wave.
Give me a little.
Thank you. I even say thank you in my car if someone lets me in and they can't hear me.
That's right.
I'm just like, thank you.
So that's mine.
Mine is when you buy something at the store, at like the supermarket, and they hand you all, like as you're trying to grab your bags, they hand you all of your change on top of your money as if you have like, and there's a line of people behind you and they're like, you deal with it. Like receipt, change, all of it in your face. It's like,
I have another one.
can we just?
I have another one.
Oh, we have so many.
When you're at a stoplight and you're walking across
our
the
friend Dan.
crosswalk,
Oh.
and you're waiting for the thing to go, and someone comes up and just starts pressing the button like you didn't press it, like you've never been to a crosswalk ever in your life.
That's our friend Dan's pet peeve.
Yeah. Okay, Kurt co-hosts our podcast. That's a good one.
I also, another thing is when, now that you've got us going on pet peeves, this is great, is when you ask like parents of like a small baby, like, how old's your baby? And they're like, 27 months. And you're like, no, once it gets to 2 years, just say 2 years. Don't make me do the math and try to figure out too much. How many years? Just 27 months.
Yeah.
Come on.
Too much math.
At least they're not giving it to you in days, right?
I know. That would be
Unbelievable.
How many days is that, Cody? Quick.
I don't know. I can't do that math.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's almost 900 days. The baby's almost 900 days old. The baby is
860 days old.
That would be the funniest, weirdest thing ever.
Yeah. So, can you tell us about any upcoming projects?
Yeah, we can. Go ahead.
So we have a podcast called Dumb People Town, and we are turning that podcast into an animated half-hour show like The Simpsons or Family Guy. And right now it's a pilot, which means that we got to do it right a single episode that sort of sets up the whole world and introduces you to the characters. And then they're going to do a 12-minute sample of what the animation would look like. And then we give that to YouTube, which I'm sure a lot of your people know all about YouTube. And YouTube will decide if they want to pay us to make a bunch of episodes. So that show is in process, and we're really, really excited about that. And then some other guys that I know you've probably had on your show, and if you haven't, we can help set that up, are the guys from Those Who Can't, Adam, Kate, and Holland. Have you had him on?
Yeah.
All three of them.
He's the best. So they have a show
Yeah.
called Those Who Can't, which is
Yeah.
coming back on for its third season in January, and we're on that show for like 4 or 5 episodes this year. It's fun.
Yeah, excited about that.
Yeah. I'm so excited for the.
I know. It's such a funny show.
Silly.
Well, you're like the age of the kids that these horrible teachers are teaching. So you're in the wheelhouse.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you about Those Who Can't. So it premieres in January, and I was wondering how you got involved with that show.
So that's a great question. So, we've been coming to Denver and doing stand up in Denver and pretty regularly for the past like 6 years, maybe. Yeah. And I would say as we would come in to do the shows, people would say, hey, they're doing this show called The Growlix. They did it at the Bug Theater in Denver, and they did it at some other place in Denver. Would you guys want to come on it and promote the fact that you're on? And it was this incredible alternative show.
Alternative comedy, meaning that it was not in a comedy club.
It was just in a theater, but really funny stuff. These guys were doing high-level stuff, and we immediately kind of fell in love with these guys. We're like, they're amazing. We'll do their show whenever we're in town if it lines up. And we became friends with them, and then they got their show out of the Growlix. They sold Those Who Can't. Came to LA. We of course had them on our podcast, and we were talking to them, and we said, all right, let's come up with something
silly for
we
us
have to do something in the show. And we started kicking around ideas, and what they came up with was
that one of us
we're both the school doctor. One of us went to medical school, the other one didn't. We're impersonating, and you don't know which one did what.
And then eventually they just have both of us on staff.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy.
It's ridiculous. But so fun, and that show is so funny, and I'm so glad it's coming back. Me too.
Yeah, I love the episode where you guys like reveal that you're two people and no one's surprised.
No one cares.
Yeah.
It was the big prom episode.
We're like, seriously, this is a huge
the graduation.
Graduation. Oh my god, it was so fun. That was fun.
Yeah. So do you need to do like a lot of takes because it's really funny?
Yeah, you know what? Yes, there are times where something is happening in a scene
and you just bust.
You cannot keep it straight. That happens a lot. You try and hold it together because you're like, eventually the guy who's like holding the big microphone over your head is like, will you please get this right because my arms are tired? And you're like, okay, yes, we will calm down and get it right.
But if you are laughing or you are in the moment, like you're enjoying it
and laugh. And if you're laughing at something that's happening in a show, chances are it's funny. That's a good sign.
So we're never bad. We like to come in and be fully prepared so that
if that happens, it's not you aren't constant. You're okay with people laughing and busting a take because
we know we'll get it right.
We'll get it right, and also it just means it's super funny. That's better than someone who's constantly like, "What's my line here? Line? Who? Line?" That means you didn't come prepared.
Yeah. So your podcast, Dumb People Town, is great, and
Thank you.
I was wondering how you came up with the idea.
So we have been doing a podcast. We used to do our old podcast, which was sports and comedy, called Scarborough Country, which is now become View from the Cheap Seats. But back in the day, we did Scarborough Country, and our fans were saying to us, we want you guys to do another one each week. So I don't know how many radio shows do you do a week?
Well, this is show number 3 for this week, just so you know.
3 for this week.
Okay.
So I'm sure your fans want you to do more too. They love the content. So they were like, we want you guys to do more. And we said, okay, don't know if we can prep a full sports one like we did before. And we met our friend Dan Van Kirk, who's now our co-host. And we said, what if it was just dumb stories of dumb people doing
Because Dan was helping us research for Cheap Seats for at the time Scarborough Country, all these weird sports stories, and he was finding all these really funny stories that had nothing to do with sports and was saying we should do
a show that has nothing to do with sports that's just broader. It's just about dumb behavior. And we called it Scarborough County, which at the time we're like, it's a smaller version of the larger show. And then over time, we eventually left our podcasting network, went to a new place, and they said, you should come up with a new name for this show just to separate it and distinguish it. And so we thought, these are dumb people doing dumb things. What if we called it Dumb People Town?
Now, at first we thought about calling it Criminal Mischief SVU. SVK. Glars and Van Kirk. But then we decided
let's call
Dumb
it
People Town is just what it is.
It's funny every time you say it to people. And so we get dumb stories sent to us by our amazing fans. Crazy stories about, the woman who got her head stuck in a tailpipe because she thought she'd get the guy who fell down between 2 buildings on a first date because he was trying to impress his date and jump from one building to the next and slid down between the walls and had to get blasted out of the wall of a Cadoba. I mean, they're just crazy. The guy who wanted to walk his snakes off leash, he had them on leashes.
At a park.
Just
Let
let
snakes go. And you're like, no, you cannot do that.
dumb behavior. And we break it down with great guests and friends like everybody from John Hamm, Tiffany Haddish, Keegan Michael Key, just good people on the shows. And it just is really fun to riff with those guys about using the dumb behavior as like a spine.
Cool. Yeah, at my internship, they sometimes like have me look up like stupid news, and when I look it up, I'm like, is this real? Like this is
Believe it.
You're like, I can't believe a human being would do this.
No.
yeah.
Right? Crazy. It makes you feel smarter. That's why we did the show, really, because we're like, we're not that smart. But then when we see someone doing this,
We're like,
feel
we're not
better.
them.
We feel better.
Yeah, I just look at it and I kind of feel like someone just made it up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You're like, I can't believe that actually happened. We
Yeah.
think that all the time.
Yeah. So, have you had a favorite guest on your podcast?
Oh my gosh.
We've had many.
We've had so many people who are so great. I would say John Hamm's been a pretty unbelievable guest. And you almost are mad at him because you're like, you're such a good looking guy. How dare you be also funny? Funny and great to hang out with. I mean, he's like kind of, and he gets it. That's the other thing. We love anyone who comes to, and sits down in the chair with us who's ready to play and be funny. And just, you know, Seth Green was great.
Seth
He
Green
was
so
great.
good.
And
Breckin
Meyer was really good. There's a lot of really
Tiffany
good.
Haddish was super fun. It was great.
That's so cool. So in August, you were in a roast battle on
Yes.
Comedy Central.
Yeah.
So, what was that like?
So our buddy Jeff Ross, who runs the roast battle and is the roast master, said we had been judging the roast battles in Los Angeles. They would go on every week, every Tuesday night at the Comedy Store. We would do it once a month, but we had never battled, and we never thought that we could or wanted to. But Jeff said we have a new format for this season, season 3. I just want to see matchups. I want to see people roast each other who I want to see roast each other. And he said, I would like if
He's like, I'm roasting Blake Griffin.
I was like, wow, basketball player. And then he said, I want you guys to roast each other.
And it should hurt a little bit. We were like,
what?
we were like, Jeff, our whole thing is building something together where we're working together to create something that's larger than the two of us. It's a lot of teamwork and love. And you want us to just tear it down completely. 25 years worth of work, just completely destroy it. How much are we getting paid? He's like $2,500. We're like, each? He's like, yeah. We're like, all right, that's worth it. So we did it, and it just was. I mean, should I give you one roast joke that I did? Do you want to hear one on the show? So I guess congratulations are in order for Jason. The LA Weekly just named Jason the 3rd funniest Sklar twin.
Okay, here's my roast joke back for Randy. Randy and I obviously have a lot of similarities, you can tell, but we have some differences too. For example, Randy hates cilantro, and I'm a good comedian.
These are good.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, hold on a second. My family is home.
This is his daughter's home. Yay! So we might have to wrap up. I'm sorry, but
That's
we love
okay.
you.
Maya, you have a finishing question, a final question for these guys?
Yeah. So I have 2 more questions.
Let's do them. Let's do them.
So if you could meet any fictional character, who would it be and why?
Any fictional character? Oh my God, that's a great question. Who would it be? Let me see. Hold on, I'm going to take this into here. If I could be any fictional character, who would it be and why? That's so good. You know who I would be?
Yeah.
Atari Kobayashi from Isle of Dogs. Did you see that movie? It was an animated movie from, it was so good. here. Do you want to say hi to Maya? This is Jason's daughter, Noah. Can you say hi?
Hi.
She's so sweet. Hi, Noah. Can you say hi to Maya? She's so cool.
Hi.
So, yeah, so that would be my fictional character. I love that. That's a great question, too.
Thank you. Cool. So my last question is
Sure.
who or what inspires you most?
Oh, can you say that one more time?
Who or what inspires you most?
Inspires me. I mean, first of all, I get inspiration from a lot of different. First of all, I get a lot of inspiration from music. Like I'll watch bands and music play, and I'll watch people just, giving their absolute all. Like whenever I see someone doing something that they love and really in their pocket doing it, it makes me want to do what we do that much better. I immediately think about ourselves and I'm like, how can we give that performance that I just saw that woman do on stage as they're performing, or that band, or that actor, or anything, or that athlete. Just look at how that person is so in their own element at the top of their game. That's what really inspires me. But then I get inspiration from other things. Like sometimes my kids are just so free with how they feel about things, and I'm like, that's inspirational. I kind of like how free they are. Or even someone like yourself, you're pretty inspirational. I love that you do this show. I love that you reached out to us. I love that we're friends now. It's just great.
Me too. Yeah. Thank you. Well, thank you so much for calling back in. Yeah, I always love talking to you guys.
We do too, and I love that you message us too whenever you see something of ours or anything like that. Keep doing that, please, please, please.
Okay.
We love it.
I will.
And I love your family too. That's the other thing. Sheila, I love your mom. I love your sister. They're great.
Oh, Leia's coming.
Where's Leia? Get over there so we can say hi. Hi, kiddo. You're awesome too. You guys are great. You know how much we really care about you guys. So
Thank you so much for calling it, for Skyping, FaceTiming. I'm not very technical. Doing that computer thing we appreciate it. Tell your brother thank you, and we'll catch up with
I'm sorry.
you.
He got his son came home. It's his son's birthday today, so we got a little crazy at the
Happy
end.
birthday! Happy birthday!
I know he's 10. Isn't that crazy?
All the way from
All right.
Colorado. Happy
I love
birthday!
you guys. We'll talk to you soon, and of course, anybody else we can help you get.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye.